Jason Guyman here with Mr. Clay tonight. And so we're going to have a great talk tonight. I know I look like I've been hit by something like the sun. We've actually had some sun here today. We usually don't get a lot of sun here. Actually, we do, but it hasn't been here recently for whatever reason. And the weather has been crappy. And so this is what we're going to hit on. And so Clay he's in my group, and we're going to talk with Clay tonight. Hopefully we get audio. We're having some audio issues. If we do, I got kind of the gist down here of what we're going to be hitting on. And so this is what we will definitely do tonight with that said. So, I posted this here of Clay did $6,000 because that's what he posted in the group about last week, and that was his win for the week. And that is why I love the group, because I can see people's wins. I can see people's, people wanting to grow their pressure washing business and wanting to get to the next level. And before we get started here, I want to do some shouting out. We got Mr. Billy Forbes in here. What's up? We got Dan Murrin up in the Cleveland area. I actually did a class up at his place. That's almost been, I think, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. Time flies by when you're having fun. Time to get with it, and busy time of the season, and that is something we will be talking about. We got big time Mr. George from, I don't know exactly where George is. Jason, you're a bit pink tonight. Yeah, my daughter had a game this weekend, and I was out in the sunshine. Yesterday, my youngest daughter had a game, but it wasn't real sunny yesterday morning. That's not when I got my nice shiny face. We got Manny. Manny is kicking tail. So tonight we had a Zoom meeting, and if you're in the membership, I would highly recommend you come into these Zoom meetings. This is where you learn a lot, and you're going to learn how much you can learn through that. And Manny had an awesome success that just April alone, he's over $20,000 in pressure washing alone, which is amazing. He did start his business last year, and last year he was at $8,000, and this year he's over $20,000. And so I will have to have Manny on. He will come on, I'm sure, because he loves me, and I love him, and he's awesome. Yeah. And it is definitely something that I will have him on. We got Scott Led over here on Facebook also. He puts, "What up, Clay?" Now, Clay loves to be online. He loves to talk in front of people. And so this is definitely, it's going to be I asked him to do this about 6 o'clock tonight or 5 o'clock. And so this is definitely going to be stepping out in his comfort zone. And I've been hitting on this a lot, which we'll go over that. But hopefully the audio works and everything we get going here. Holy sunburn is what he put. And hopefully we can do that. So, Clay, tell me a little bit about who are you, where are you from, all of that cool stuff.
Oh, me. Well, I'm Clay. We're with CNC Pressure Washing. I'm out of the Decatur, Alabama, which closer to Huntsville, I guess. More people realize that. But this will be my first year full time. I left my job, worked at Nucor Steel for 9 years. We've done a little bit of steel work. Kind of left it. We was doing over $100,000 a year, but had no family time. So that's when I started it's time for a change, and got two little ones you want to kind of spend more time with.
So you were making $100,000 a year working at the steel mill, which was good money, but you lost a lot of family time in doing that. And so was your wife working, or I know she's a realtor, correct? Or is she kind of?
Since the kids were born, she kind of stepped back out of that. She's waiting until they start back kindergarten to really start, getting out there and knocking on doors and stuff.
So when did you start to think that you wanted to do pressure washing full time?
It was more like last year, or not even I can't remember. It was last year. I had a goal set. I was going to do $10,000 one month part time, and I done it in 2 weeks last year. Because on our schedule, we worked 4 on, 4 off. So I had 4 off days each week to pressure wash
That's awesome. So
all day. So when I done 10,000, I was like, you know what? If I'm doing that, I can make more money than doing it.
So on January 12th, I actually looked it up. You signed up for my class in Florida,
So
and you signed up in the membership at the same day. What was going through your head at that point of should I do this? Should I not? Am I making a mistake? Or is this something that's going to help grow my business?
I broke up on that. Ain't gonna lie to you, my audio went out.
So on January 12th, you signed up for my in-person training for Florida, and you signed up for the online training. What was going through your head at that point? Was you ready to go full time, or was you still working?
Well, I was still working, but I was in that. I was teetering back and forth. I was like, man, do I really want to quit and go out and take that jump? I think it was January 21st. I left. I think I said about 8 days after I took your class. I said, no, I'm gonna go full time because everything I started working much overtime, and this is not what I wanted to do anymore. Just didn't have that passion like I had at one time. Making steel. It can be exciting, but 9 years of it, I was tired of it.
So in there, when you came to that class, what was your expectations? Was it Jason was going to be the best thing ever, and he was going to teach you everything you needed to know?
Oh no, no, no. That's just I wanted to go. I wanted to meet you, be face to face, and kind of ask questions there. Like you can watch a million videos until you're there, and you spend money. You're going to be paying a lot more attention. You're going to put it to work. You're spending that kind of money. So more like an accountability thing. If I spend it, I want to go out and make it back, make a return.
And so Clay has been in. He comes every time I have a Zoom call. He's always listening. He's always learning. He's always pushing, and he's always doing hard things. And so that is one thing that I love about Clay is Clay. I did a challenge last week, and it was to do a Facebook Live. And Clay, to be honest, I thought would have been the last one to do it, and he was actually one of the first ones to do it. Now it took him 2 or 3 tries because he's not tech savvy, but he kept going to do the thing and got it to be done. And he did a great job of doing a Facebook Live. And people might say, well, do I need to do a Facebook Live? No, you don't need to do anything. I mean, you can sit there and do nothing if you want to. But if you want to grow your business and you're willing to do the little hard things, and I said little hard things, you can do big hard things when it comes time to it. And so, this is one of those things that Clay did, and it was awesome to see him do it. He was up on a roof on one, and it was almost like he was comfortable doing it almost. He probably wanted to throw up right before he did it or right after, but that's fine because, we can do hard things. And that's the thing that I wanted to hit on tonight about you can do hard things. He went and quit $100,000 job with a family of four to try to do pressure washing, And do I think he can do that? I definitely think he does. Does he do a lot of the things I tell him to do? Yes, he does. And I'm not going to tell him to do something stupid. I know what I had to do to grow my business, and I'm helping him grow his business, and that is the most important thing. That you can do this. This isn't something that is magical, and you just poof this magic wand, and it's just going to happen, but it's one of those things that we're going to do to keep us growing and to keep us getting to where we need to be at. And those are definitely the things that we need to do. So, Clay, with that said, what were some fears of going full time right out of the get go?
Oh man, fears my phone gonna ring. I'm gonna be able to put food on the table for my kids. Is my kids' lifestyle is going to change? Like there's a big difference. I mean, was making good money, was getting profit sharing every year around 150 to 160. So I mean, it's a big different lifestyle change. But we kind of been working on that for the past 3 years, kind of setting stuff back, and that kind of helped that fear. But my biggest fear, just that phone. I was worried my phone was gonna ring. Like, man, oh, what a times change, and last year, I stayed busy for several months, but I said, man, watch this year be the year I don't get no phone calls, and here I am. Then left this job, making me look like an idiot. That's why I was kind of more worried about looking stupid leaving something like that. Because
Right.
got everybody. You got your family, you got your friends, you got people you used to work with. They kind of like, you're crazy leaving this job. What are you doing? Like, you gonna go pressure wash? Like,
Because you're leaving a good job, right? That's what
yeah,
they all told you. And here's the thing about that. We have a steel mill around here, AK Steel, which at the time was like in the back in the day, it was hot and running, and like now that area is in Middletown is a freaking ghost town because they took a lot of it out, and now all these people either had to transfer or they didn't have a job at the end of the day.
yeah,
And they thought they had a good job, and a lot of the jobs just went poof and went away. And you could think sometimes you have a good job, but you never know what's going to happen. And like I say, now Middletown, Ohio, is the armpit of Ohio at that point. I mean, it's very ran down. It's nasty, and it's one of those things that it isn't where you want to be at the end of the day. So
yeah, yeah. Swing shit. That's rough on your health and just your body in general. It's not good for you. That's
yeah,
why I
you're
wonder.
breathing in all that. You're breathing in all that crap. You're breathing in, all the chemicals and the steel and the heat and all of that. Al
Oh yeah,
put Jason can make your business growing to easily $150,000 a year, and that's where we're wanting to shoot for, right? That is definitely what we want to. I'm looking to get into pressure washing. Thanks for the help and motivation. Don't dodge my middies. So you had came, and then so what were some things that you learned in class that helped you overcome some fears and be like, hey, you know what, I can do this.
yeah. I mean, it's just like you're in there with a class and everybody else in the same scenario, at the same boat. And you had Jason who's been there before you. Bobby Walker was there. He kind of talked about his experience too. It's scary. Everybody said it's scary. It's not. They wouldn't not gonna lie to you. Like you get out there on your own, it is scary. But see where they went, what they've done, accomplished. It kind of helped ease me out a little bit. There's other people there that were pressure washing full time, were just there kind of. Mario, well, I can't remember his name. Carrie, I
Yeah,
think it's
what Carrie was
yeah.
there? Yeah.
He moved from Atlanta to a whole new city full time. So I'm like, man, if he can do that, go to a completely different area, never been there before, and start with pressure washing full time, I can do it. So
So March 16th, you signed up for AdWords. What was the step of, hey, I want to try to start running and try to figure out these AdWords thing?
what was this like? What was the step of me doing it?
Yeah,
I just called you.
I know.
I can. Nah, I knew I had to get. I wanted more leads. I put out signs. I done the door hangers. I'm trying to get you know different touch.
Uh-oh.
That's why I kind of wanted a different sign.
Yeah, so you kind of broke up there. So
Right.
you did different touches, and you were doing door hangers and yard signs, and wanted the phone to ring
That's why I
more.
wanted the different
Correct?
ring, get more. I was more
Yeah.
worried about not getting enough work, so that's why I wanted to do Google Ads, and it ramped up big time. That 1 week, I forgot me. I said I got like 8 jobs in 1 week, like just a couple of days of AdWords. It was crazy.
So what was your average ticket last year when you were doing it?
I'm so embarrassed to even say this. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was probably about $300. Like, because at the time, I was just trying to do it somehow here. When I originally started, I was like, oh, I'll just do this, make my mortgage payment, have a little extra put back, and kind of went more and more. But I never did raise my prices like I should have. I didn't know better until I got in that group, and everybody's like, oh, you got to raise your prices. And look at Jeremy, up there, $1,200 average ticket price. Like, if he can do that, I can do that down here too. So it's big difference.
So what it was? So you had said last month what was your average ticket,
522
and what is it this month?
this month. It jumped to 866.
And what did you do any different to get that average ticket up there?
Just raised prices. I got told no enough last month and this month, so it's starting up. have any effect on me now, I think. So
Do you
we're
know
out there
what your close rate is?
around 42, 43% right now.
That's pretty good still, even at that higher prices. That's good.
I've had some of them kind of turn their nose up at me this past couple of weeks, but
So, how did you get to that $6,000 week?
oh man. Well, the neighborhoods for once I started targeting little higher end neighborhoods in Huntsville. That's where a lot of that money came from. I done, let's see, 4 roof washes. I mean that's big. Like I think last year I maybe done 4 all year, and I done 4 this week. I think I've done already done 10 of them this month. I feel like, but yeah, just targeting the higher end areas, like where the money's at, right?
Finding the right customers, right? And that's something that, it takes time to figure out who is your customer, what customers you want. And this is things that you want to make sure that you are writing these things down, and this way you can target those customers. Because we need to target customers. We need to say, hey, this is who my customer is. This is where I want to be at. And even the places we don't want to be at, like we don't want to be in certain areas. If that area is low, we don't want to be in those areas. And that is definitely something that, we can do to do those things to be able to get to where we need to be at. I talk about raising our prices, and some people listen to me, some people don't. Some people want to argue with me, some don't. But this is one of those things that this is what's going to keep you in business by raising our prices, by helping us get to where we need to be at. I had a guy. He put a comment that you can't get this in my area, and I hear this so often that, oh, you can't charge that in my area. Well, you can. You got to ask for it. And if you don't ask for it, you won't get it. That's a guarantee. If you don't ask for it, somebody ain't going to be like, "Oh, here's an extra $500 for this house wash." Have you ever had that happen to you, Clay?
No, no, I think somebody might have felt sorry for me and gave me about a $200 tip. That's about it.
but it's so true. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that it's like people are just like, well, but you can't get that in my area, and I don't agree with it. I can go anywhere across the country. Jason Hefner has been on here tonight, and he was one that it's one of those things that you can get that extra money. You can do those things. And so that is how you can do it. Al tell him our story. Al was one that was doing decks for like $2-3 a square foot and think he was rich and thought he was doing well. And that's not just cleaning it, that was staining it too. And so he was working his tail end off to make nothing, to make $10 an hour, $20 an hour is what he ended up with making it. And so when he brought his trailer here and I started working with him, he starts charging $8-10 a square foot, and he gets it. And he's like, $8 a square foot he's charging now versus two,
Wow.
$3 a square foot. And I mean, this was like last year. This isn't 10 years ago. This was last year this happened. And he had
Oh,
been doing decks for 20 years. And so he left $1 million sitting on the table that he never even did. And so these are some things that, and he was another one, that, oh, you can't get that, nobody. But what he found out is you don't want everybody. You can do a quarter of the jobs and make the exact same money and have a quarter of the expense by just charging our pricing. And when we do that, that's the beautiful thing about it. We don't need to be 80% close rate. We don't need to be 100%. We don't even need to be, we need, I like to be around that 40-50%. But I also find that people that have those higher tickets are probably might even be down into the 20 or 30%, and yes, that can be scary for not closing as much. But when you get the phone to ring and you just know that you're at 30%, 40%, that means that we just got to get that phone to ring and clicks are coming, so that way we can get to where we need to be at. So in 2022, what's your goal for pressure washing?
Goal is to hit 100,000. So we're about a quarter way there right now. So I got 75 more to go.
So, so you've already done 25,000 since the beginning of the year, and this is definitely something that you are on target. And I think you're going to do more than that. And I think your goal is a little shy. I always tell people to shoot higher than that because it's like one of those things that if we only shoot here, we can shoot here, and we might do better then.
Yeah, I probably should raise it up. You never know. Like I said, when I was making all this stuff, my phone wasn't ringing that much. So
What I always found out that even when I had 3 4 trucks on the road, and I would be booked 2 3 weeks out, and then the phone would just shut up, and then you would get all the way up to like the day before, and you're like, oh my gosh, are we going to close business today or tomorrow? And then the phone would just blow up, and then you would be booked out for another 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah,
And it was a cycle. And some of that cycle might have been my fault because I wasn't marketing the way I should have been the whole time versus we get into the point, and that's one thing I want to hit on tonight is when we get busy right now, a lot of times we want to quit marketing. We don't want to do our Facebook lives. We don't want to do our photos. We don't want to do those things. And this is the time that I'm going to tell you to go all in. This is the time to push all your chips out on the table and go all in on marketing, because right now is when the time of people are going to start doing stuff and buying. Now, here's the thing, guys. DJ was saying, man, that's kind of slowed down a little bit. I only got 1 or 2 jobs next week. Here's the deal, guys. This weather has sucked here. Today was the first day I've had sun and gotten sun from, the sun actually, because it's actually finally coming out. And like I said before, I've only mowed the grass like 2 or 3 times, and one of the times I probably didn't even need to mow it at the time. And so these are some things that we have to think about, and this is when the phone should start ringing now. This weather, actually, I seen somebody said it was colder in April than it was in March. And so hopefully the phone starts ringing for you all and keeps you busy. So what are some fears that you've had to overcome to get you where you're at now?
to get in front of people, talk. I, you just gotta get out in front of people. Like I said, my wife, she's a real estate agent, and she was harping on me. Oh, you need to go up there and start meeting some of these agents and stuff, And she goes, you ain't gonna make no money if you don't get in front of people and get out there and start networking. So that's what I've been having to overcome, trying to get out there and actually network, go shake hands, give business cards and stuff like that. And actually, I mean, it's worked. I did a lunch and learn at a real estate office thing last week, and I got 3 jobs off of it. I mean,
So let's go back to this because this is a lot of people's fear. Not everybody's, but this is a lot of people's fear is being able to talk to other people. In your other job, what did you do at the steel mill?
I did the buying for all the scrap, well, scrap, but the alloys and lime that goes into making the steel. So I was the coordinator with all the truck drivers and stuff like that.
So you actually talked to people back then?
The dispatchers. I didn't have many people. I had an office that way by myself. Once I got to that job, I was out there about 6 years. Other than that, I was the crane operator in the melt shop.
So that you did that was not doing anything talking to people at that point.
No,
That was up, down, hold it, whatever you want to do with your hand signals, right?
yeah, just sweat your ass off all day.
And so you've had to overcome the sales side of things of talking to
Yeah.
people. And do you answer the phone yourself, or do you have somebody else answer it? Or
I answer everything, all the phone. I have nobody else. I got a helper that goes with me occasionally, helps water the flowers and stuff on roofs, but most of the time it's just a solo show.
and so with that, how do you like answering the phone and making sure that phone gets answered every time it rings?
I don't mind it now. At first, I kind of freaking cringed at myself how I had to answer the phone. I'm like, God, I got to really. But now, it's after I guess just doing it, and now that I have to do it, I can't just say, oh, I'll call him back later because I really don't want to talk to him right now. No, ain't none of that. If you want to eat and you want to have some good food later on, you better answer that phone because it's going to cost you money if you don't answer it. So,
Michael Motorcycle for Life put this business um, taught me this business taught me money doesn't make you happy. Spending time doing things besides working does. And so, how much have you been able to spend time with your family and kids by doing this business?
Well, so I hit 6,000 this week. I said I didn't work any Monday. I did 2 estimates on Monday. Worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I did a $1,300 house or roof wash. I was there 2 hours. So I left at 9:30 and I was back and had everyone equipment put up by 12. And I started my weekend. So I mean, I had never had that kind of family time.
And
So
how has that helped your relationship with your wife?
oh they no they tell a huge difference. They happy like just being happy, being around everybody, being in a better mood, and just an actual normal routine. I guess I can kind of make my own schedule around them. We can go out to eat, meet for lunch and stuff, and just works. I,
Does it make you happier to be able to do that stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I ain't kidding. I work like 60, 60 hour a week or 70 with nothing. Best steel mill. I mean, it's 12-hour days.
So basically, you would get up before the kids got up, leave, and they were pretty much in bed by the time you got home at the end of the day.
Yeah, I left. I left for then like 3 o'clock in the morning. I get home about 6.
And
So
then
6.
you probably put them to bed around 8 or 9, so you only got an hour or two when you're dead tired because you got to get back up at 3 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning.
And that was on days. When you get on nights, I didn't see them because on nights, I'd sleep all day. I'd wake up and then go to work. So that rotated every week. So about every once, twice, 2 weeks out of the month, maybe I see them a good bit. About it. So,
So, with the relationships with the wife, is that going to make you have more kids or?
oh no, 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 no. Done. I got a 4 and a 3 year old. That's enough. A handful.
How does your wife like you home helping with the kids and stuff?
Oh, she loves it. I mean, actually, I can actually be there and do stuff. And take them places. And before, I said I'll meet you somewhere on my way to work or whatever, and because on the off days I pressure wash too. So I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot of time, but now it's a little different.
So, what reason why I'm hitting on this is a bunch is, we don't have to kill ourselves even in the pressure washing business. You've raised your prices. You've gotten to where you need to be at. Here's the thing: if you do 100, 150,000, and you're happy and you're spending a crap ton with your family, how much more is that? This is one of those things that you don't get back time with your kids being gone all the time. That's something that you don't get. The first 3 years of their life, you don't get that back of you being gone all the time. And so that's important to understand that, every week goes by is another week that you didn't get to have with your kids. And you might think, it's just my kids, but do you want them to have a dad that they don't know, or a dad that you can take them to the football games and soccer practice and baseball practice? And because they're not that age yet, but it's coming, and that's something that's awesome that you'll be able to do and keep them going.
Yep. That
I'm on that same dang schedule at the copper mine. It's tough, is what Caleb
it,
said.
it is tough. I agree with that. I like this one below. It says, "Kids cost money. Don't increase the overhead."
That's from Jason Hefner. But you know what? He's another one that your kids, and that's the thing. People, I know a lot of people that work a lot and they never see their kids, and that's not me. I mean, I was that person. I used to work 100 hours a week. I worked 56 hours at the firehouse, on average. I drove an hour there, an hour back home, and then I went and did my business. And it was averaging out 100 hours a week. I was gone, and so it is definitely something that I did miss out on some of my kids stuff, and now I don't miss out on it. And Greg Townsend is another one that he says every day at 4 o'clock he's going to do football practice with his son, where he wasn't able to do that before.
It's a big difference. Like I said, I'm able to actually coach t-ball this year. I got both my kids on the same t-ball team. So I mean, it's something I can't never get back. They'll never be on the same team together on t-ball. So it's something special for
Right.
sure.
You like baseball then?
Yep, yep. I grew up doing that. That's I was always big into.
My average ticket last month was 1,800. This month is 1,200. All residential. I'm booked out for 2 weeks right now. That's good.
Raising prices. If you put that 2 weeks, get you some higher prices.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I started getting some a lot bigger jobs that hit this week. So
And that's the thing you'll find out when you start raising your prices is you're not doing piddly jobs, and you're going to higher end jobs, which will lead you to more higher end jobs because you'll get referrals from those people, and those are the ones you want, and those are the ones that will help you grow your business.
yep.
I'm working 50-hour weeks at my full time job and just did an 1,800 this weekend, my first year. That's awesome.
Heck yeah, high five to that.
Summer goals: take Andrew to do jet skiing, submarine, and Ray Ball's game. Sweet.
Nice.
So, I ran out of questions, Clay.
You didn't have that many for me, Jason. You just want to talk or what?
I know. Now you're going to start throwing me on the butt. Do you read books?
I do actually. I read a good bit of books.
And when did you start reading books?
Uh, uh, Probably about 5 years ago.
So you've read a lot of books in.
Yeah,
What are some books that, because I seen Crazy Bill TV put Pumpkin Plan, which is a great book because it talks about picking off the suckers, which are low paying jobs, and so that way it gets nutrition for the bigger paying jobs. Do what now?
I was reading that book. He wrote write it down. Pumpkin Plan.
Pumpkin Plan's a great book to read for sure. It's the same book that wrote, or the same person that wrote Profit First, Mike Kalazinski.
Gotcha. No, see, I read a lot. I read all Grant Cardone books. I read those several years ago. Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's one that kind of really started shifting my mind as far as like a business type stuff, creating something instead of working for somebody. So that's really kind of got my wheels turning. And that's when I found your videos actually when I started looking up side hustles and stuff like and pressure washing popped up and I dove in and all that. But so Rich Dad Poor Dad's Grant Cardone books, Richest Man in Babylon, that type of books I guess, finance, that kind of stuff.
So, um, books are definitely something that, do you like to read them, or do you listen to them?
I can't listen to them. I have to read them. I don't absorb information. It's just spewed at me.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
And that's the thing. Everybody is different. And that's the thing with our website. That's the thing with a lot of things. That's why some people can do some things and other people can't. And that's why I say not everything's going to work the same for everybody. And so that's definitely, making sure that we can get that to do that. I read Get Different and Marketing Book by Mike. I can't think of his name. Good book. Actually, I think that's his new marketing book that he just put out. So
I have that Vivid Vision book. I hadn't read it yet.
yeah,
I'm
Vivid Vision's a good book. I've read it. I need to work on it. Where's My Cheese is a good beginner book, and you might think that's not, but it actually is a great book to read, even if it's a kid's book.
Yep.
Um, I gotta go over here to my. I thought I was gonna have enough questions and enough get it going here. Um, so what's been the best way of getting marketing stuff that you've worked for you to grow?
Man, right now, I mean, let's say I booked a $1,200 yard sign this week off a roof wash and house wash. So then we wanted parts of the roof. I mean, one sign in one neighborhood got me that. I would say yard signs have got a lot for me so far. I mean, I know the Google ads have picked up. It probably got me most of my work for the past 2 weeks. But yard signs, most times, what kind of kicks mine off. They stay up forever around here. No, they don't get taken down that much. So I think I've got yard signs sitting there since January in one spot and it ain't never moved. So
Money
I'd say
Bush, Money Bushes work great.
Yeah,
especially when they sit there and nobody takes them down.
yeah, yeah. They're mowing around them. I mean, they're not they're not yanking. They're weed eating around them and everything. Like they're supposed to be there. So it's kind of nice.
So let's talk Wild Wild West. Put what kind of rig do you have?
Man, y'all gonna laugh at my rig. It's just a little 5x10. I got an 8 gallon a minute, 3,500 psi, 100 gallon buffer tank, 65 gallon roof mix. That's my batch mix. That's my batch mix everything with a 12-volt system. I've had the same pump. I know people say, "Oh, them pumps go bad all the time." I've had that same pump for 2 years. I rinse it out after every job. So, but yeah, that's all I got on mine. That's a 12-volt pump and pressure washer.
So Clay does run Google Ads. I actually set them up for him about a month ago, and he didn't have a website, so I had to set that up too. And it actually been doing pretty well. I know you said there, but down there his average clicks have been about $13 a click, which that's actually pretty cheap. That's not too bad. I know some people. Somebody was on here asking me some questions. He's like, "Man, I was $14, $15 average click." And that's where you're going to be at now. The days of AdWords being cheap ain't there no more. That was, 5 years ago when I was in the business. Now it is not that way anymore. So, it is one of those things that you do have to pay to play. And you've been running them for, like I said, I think it's been a little over a month, is what it was, and it's been
Yeah.
about $1,500 on your AdWords. And that's something that I want to hit on is, we have to do marketing. We have to do those things to be able to keep our business going. Like I say, we were just on the Zoom call and Manny was on there and he did 20 some $1,000, but he spent $3,000 in marketing. Is it a 10x ROI? No, but if you want to hit big numbers, you got to be willing to do marketing. Manny was like marketing, marketing, marketing. He basically sounded just like me when he was talking because I'm going to say the same thing. And there's a reason why I push it marketing, marketing, marketing. And Manny is older. He's 48 years old. He's up in Canada, and we was talking. He helped his dad for years in business, and then last year he started his own business. And he was doing, he was making $50,000-$60,000 a year, and so to do a month in April of $20,000, that's incredible, and it can be done. You don't need to have two, three, five employees to be able to do $25,000-$30,000 a month in pressure washing. You can do that by yourself. You can make $150,000-$200,000 by yourself doing pressure washing. DJ did a little over like 150,000 last year, and he did a lot of trips with me. He didn't work a lot of days, and it's because you get that higher ticket up and you get that higher pricing up. That's what's going to keep you being able to grow. And like Kevin said here, 6 times is better than 0 times on our marketing, because if we spend $0, we can't times that, right? If we're afraid that if we don't look at putting money into our business as an investment versus it's a cost, you're never going to. So if you're not willing to spend money, it's not going to increase. Like I said with Manny, he put 3,000 out there and he ended up getting $20,000 off of it. And he's still doing all the little things. He didn't stop. He's still putting up signs. He's still doing his Google Photos. He said he had over 300 Google Photos. He's still doing all of those things. He's doing some YouTube videos. He's doing all different kinds of things to be able to help him keep growing. And that is what's going to set you apart from your competitors. You sitting there pissing and moaning because you ain't getting work versus you go flipping rocks, that's what's going to keep you busy, and that's what's going to keep you where you need to be at. And if
Somebody,
we were, go ahead.
go, no, you good. I was just going back. Somebody asked if I do estimates. I do. It's probably a good mix. If it's here in Huntsville, like the Monticello Mountain, it's about like a 45, 50-minute drive. If I get a bunch of them at one time that wants the estimate, I'll drive out there. Especially if it's like a higher ticket item, I try to go meet them in person because I have a higher closing rate. But if it's just like smaller jobs, I'll kind of bid it over the phone. And I use Mark 8 as my CRM. So before I send the estimate to them, I'll call them up on the phone. I'll talk them through the process. Hey, I'm about to send you this estimate over. You should be getting it in just a minute. Let me know what you think and how we can help you and all that stuff. And I just send it. That way, I'm not just driving around like all over the town, for a $400 job or a $500 job when I can do like $1,000 job. I might go to it though. I mean, I'll go try to close that one.
Now, do you do bundles?
Yes, I do bundles. You got on me on that. That's why my ticket price has been going up. Been throwing a little extra stuff on there. Hey, I did sell a gutter bundle on that. She had a nicer landscape, and I was like, well, I said we can bag and all that. We can drop on the ground. I think it was for 300. I said we can bag it and haul it off for 400, and I said I can flush your gutters out for 450. She chose 450.
You should have went 500. Another $100 to flush them.
Yep. So, hey, it worked. Hey, this was easy gutter clean out, so I was happy. $450 gutters, I'd do it all day long.
Went to give a quote for gutter cleaning in person, just upsell to close my first pressure washing job at $1,299 just from a yard sign. Always have bundles. And that's the whole importance of it, is making sure that we are bundling, so that way we can get our average ticket up, which will help us close, we can get those higher end tickets.
Yep.
If you all have any questions, definitely ask. We will answer any of your questions. State line power washing. Keep washing. This sucks for MD. Set up my rig this past month. Landed a nice commercial property in Cincinnati. Somehow my equipment caught fire, and my whole setup went up in flames. Car got torched. That sucks. Keep a fire extinguisher handy at all times. That's a good thing to do.
I don't have that. I need that. that that's kind of scary.
Yes, yes, yes. My phone has been ringing nonstop. I have to cut back on marketing. That I do not agree with. That is not good. That is, in fact, I'm going to tell you to keep marketing and raise your prices. This is Mark is the same guy that said he's booked out 2 weeks, and that means you're too cheap, because I would about guarantee you your close rate is high, and that means you are too cheap, and that means you need to raise your prices. I know you're in this area. You literally live not too far from me, and you need to raise your prices. If you are cheap, you will be booked out, but that's not the goal. The goal is to have higher tickets so you can have more money, so you can not work as hard, and that is the whole thing about this business. I'm close to you. I service the Shoals area. Keep grinding, buddy. Must be you, Nick. It's Nick on Facebook, so that must be, where the Shoals area is. Cool. Clay,
Sir?
you know where the Shoals area is?
Yes. Who's that?
Nick Spadinins. He said, I'm close to you. I service the Shoals area. Keep grinding, buddy.
Oh,
That's
man.
on Facebook, so you're probably not seeing that one.
Oh, there's Facebook too? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's on my personal page, and so they don't come up.
Oh.
So I actually got to read them as they go. Cut back somewhere else. Yes. Normally, I handle aggregate like concrete, but I have a job that has loose stuff. Planning on soft washing thoughts. That's probably a good thing if it's a bunch of loose stuff. One piece of safety advice when driving around, putting out signs, keep clicking the seatbelt. I noticed how easily it is to tell myself, oh, I'm just going to get out around the corner. Yep. What's your number one bundle clients are choosing, Clay?
Ooh, well, this week has been the roof wash and house wash. The past 2 weeks. That's what I've been doing the most of. If that's what you're talking about, right? Just
Yep.
a bundle? Yeah. Yeah. Most times people will call me about a roof wash, and I won't touch the roof unless I do the house wash too, because I'm not doing the house wash for free. Once you get a little overspray on it, you got to clean it off anyways. So that's why I've been kind of been throwing, look, do the roof wash, might as well do the house wash over there. I kind of give them a little bit of a discount, but not much. But
Good
that's
way to
kind of what they.
get that ticket up, and then you might as well do exterior window cleaning too while you're there. So,
Yeah, I've been slacking on the window cleaning thing. I ain't been closing a whole lot of those. I need to work on that. I ain't gonna,
because you're not asking for it.
yeah, I know. I don't know. I got to work on it.
My money bushes signs turned out great, making money for sure. That's why they're called money bushes. I wouldn't call them money bushes if they wasn't. Why is SH going through the roof in price? That's a good question. But I'm not going to jump. Let's ask you down there in that red state. Why is SH going through the roof?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I don't know. Heck, I ain't got no comment on this. I'm not going to.
Billy Forbes put, I live in Harvest next to Huntsville.
Well, he's out there all that money is too. He ought to be knocking it down.
Um, how much does a truck setup cost? That depends on how much you're willing to spend. I wouldn't recommend you to spend a whole lot of money on a truck. I would recommend you spending a whole lot of money on marketing before you spend a whole lot of money on a truck and rig. I see a lot of people spend 15, 20, 30, $40,000 on a rig and then won't spend nothing on marketing. Marketing is key. Actually, Manny put marketing is key. I just understood that this year, and that's how he has gotten to where he is. Got a few commercial count lawn signs up all year long. Um, most Billy, who is in your area, most of the potential customers are calling for flat work. Do you need a pressure washer set up plus a soft wash system to start a soft wash business, or can I soft wash with a pressure wash and downstream? Yes, you can do everything with a pressure washer and a downstream except roof cleaning. If you're going to do roof cleaning, then you will need a soft wash system. But you can do like a 12-volt pump, and it don't have to be nothing spectacular. But yes, you can do everything with the 12-volt or the pressure washer. Um, did you have a website link that recommend using bleach to clean vinyl? I had a potential client say last contractor faxed his vinyl with bleach. Um, that's probably because he didn't know what he was doing and let it sit on it.
I wouldn't try to use bleach though in anything. Just say sodium hypochlorite
Yeah.
and say it kills organic growth. Anytime you
Yep.
say bleach, it scares everybody away. I feel like
Bleach.
unless
Bleach is a four-letter word. That's
you know.
actually five. I
uh,
still get it for $3 a gallon down there. He
you
says.
better be staying where you at, getting it there, because down now Decatur you get it for $3.40 I think, for a 55-gallon drum.
Uh,
That's about.
speaking Speaking of windows, did you take out screens or require customers to do it? And so you hit faded. So basically, what happens is if you spray the house with bleach and don't rinse it off, and you let that dry, it will oxidize that house because sodium hypochlorite is it's a very big oxidizer. Like it's super oxidizing. It rusts everything up as soon as it hits it. And so if he sprayed that house and didn't rinse it fast enough, that's what caused that problem. How do you clean wood siding? Um, it is something that you can use a house wash mix. You can use sodium hydroxide. It depends on kind of what you're doing with it, what your end results are. Keep growing, brother. I'm close to. Are you planning on Christmas lights in the winter, Clay?
Yeah, something me and my wife were talking about. She's thinking I need to stay focused more on the pressure washing side of things to get it figured out first. But I'm trying to talk her into coming down for a class. Let's see. I was planning on it, but we'll have to
Yeah,
see how it.
if you do Christmas lights, that'll be huge for you down in that area. And they're awesome pressure washing our customers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll end up doing it. I just got to convince the old wife.
Can you explain to Danny and others why you need the soft wash system for roofs, though? Um, so you need a soft reason why you need a soft wash system for roofs or a 12-volt pump or a way to get chemicals from one to the other is because if we're using a downstream injector, the highest we can go is about 2%, and that is with a super sud sucker. Most of your downstream injectors are only going to be about a 1.5% mix if you're lucky, even at straight 10%, because a downstream injector will flow 10 to 1. And so every 10 gallons of water, it will flow 1 gallon of bleach. And so that's what 10 to 1 means. That's what a 1% mix would mean. And so, with that said, or 1.2 mix, with that said, you can't get a strong enough mix. On a roof, we need to be about 4%, 3-4%, 5-6%. I always did them at 6% so I could spray it one and be done. I know some people would like to do it at 3%. They think they're saving money, and in the end, they're hitting it 2-3 times because they still ain't killing it. I look at it as I'd rather be one and done, and that's less chance of me killing everything, of more me spraying more bleach around it. So that's why I do a 6% mix. And so that's kind of what he's saying here, why we need to do a soft wash system. And even an X-Jet, you can put an X-Jet on your pressure washer and you can get it to a 4 to 1. You can get it down to a 3 to 1 if you idle it down. If you have a 4 gallon a minute, you idle it down, you can get it to 4 to 1. But you're spraying a lot of chemical at that point, and that's why I don't recommend that.
Yeah, it stays on my truck at 6%. Just hit it and be done. That way you can just walk off and not have to worry about it.
Yep. Jason, I went all pressure and gutter cleaning this year. I just got my SH delivered in 55-gallon drums. Awesome. Jason, are you still setting up ads this year? I am. You can go to pressurewashhelp.com/Google Ads, and I'll set them up. I've actually got 2 people I got to set up. Actually, I got 1 person set up, and then tomorrow I got to set up another set. So I do. It might take me a couple days to get them done, but I do get them done. But you can't use a pressure washer on a roof with low pressure. You need a soft wash setup for roof. That is correct. I would love to do Christmas light classes. Well, talk about that. I actually have a Christmas light class coming up in Denver. It is May 14th and 15th, I believe it is, or whatever that weekend is, Friday and Saturday. It is in Denver, Colorado. So if you're in that area or want to fly to that area, that is where we will be doing it. And if you click on the link in there, if you go to King of Pressure Wash and go to in-person training, and it's underneath there, it's actually going to take you to another website. And if you buy, I think if you buy $6,000 worth of lights, you get the training for free. So that is definitely something you might want to think about. I use a house wash mix on composite decks. Some people say not to. What do you guys use? It's what I use.
Yep.
um, what kind of soft washing hose do you recommend for a good start? I use the Flexzilla hose because some of that Curry stuff hurts my fingers, and I got wussy fingers. But I like the Curry Tech or the Flexzilla hose. DJ's been using it for 2 years and hasn't had any issues out of it. I know I talked to Al; he's been using it and he loves it. So that's what I would use. But just make sure it's all one section. You don't want no like garden fittings that could cause a leak in the middle of it. I recently started a pressure washing startup, and last week I went from 3 to 4 jobs a week to being double booked and then booked out for this week. Much respect for all the information and content. And what do you need to do at that point, Clay?
I zoomed out. I zoned out from. Ain't gonna lie to you. I was reading comments.
He's in La La Land over there. He said, "Raise
First,
your prices." That's all. Anytime I ask you a question, what is it? Raise your
this is
prices.
prices.
What happens when you raise your client prices, Clay?
You go from 522 to 866 in a month on your price.
And you make more money, right?
You make a lot more money.
And do less work.
Exactly. We work 4 days a week. Now work 5 to make the same.
XJet is not worth it. $200 to waste more chemical and carry 55 gallon buckets. I bought a XJet. I think I used it one time.
Oh, Blaine, you're about to get the fury of marketing from Jason.
Do what now?
Blaine, his comment there. You about to get the fury of marketing from Jason here.
I don't see that one yet. How much would you? How much are those ad? How much would those ads run somebody? If you go to pressurewashhelp.com/Google Ads, that's the setup fee, and then you're about $13 to $15 a click. George Yost, gutters are the bane of my pressure washing existence. I hate gutters. What makes a great Google ad? Site link extension, a picture, direction to landing page or website. How are you setting up conversion tracking? So, what makes a good ad? Talk about whatever you're selling is a good keyword. So, if you're talking about pressure washing, you have a pressure washing ad that takes you to a pressure washing landing page. That is what makes a good ad. Site link extensions help, pictures help, all of those help, but you got to have a good keyword, a good ad that talks about that, and then you got to have a good a landing page. And you need a landing page. You really don't want a landing page with anything other than call you and a button. You don't even want them to be able to go on any other places on the website. That's what you really want. So that is something that even helps conversions even more. But having large call to actions all up and down that page that they know you want to call them to be able to do it. Is that Flexzilla garden hose you're talking about for soft washing? Yes, and you can get it in 5/8, and you can get a whole roll of it. I'm starting my business in a month. Just do it. Oh, this one you're talking about? I'm getting into pressure washing this year, and I have a budget of $10,000 for a pressure washing setup. Should I go with a skid or trailer? Go with marketing is what I would tell you to do, Blaine. And you're going to say, but. Go with marketing. If you got a $10,000 budget for a skid and you don't put no money in marketing, you're not going to grow a business. You're going to have a failed business. A lot of people worry about the thing. The thing isn't what makes you money. Marketing is what's going to make you money, and that's what's going to multiply your money. I would rather you go rent a freaking pressure washer until you can start putting that money into something better. And you might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I'm being really honest. You can do a really easy setup and you can do affordable. This is what I would tell you: do $5,000 in pressure washing and then put $5,000 in marketing. That would be your best thing you could do. Jason, you having any landscape lighting classes anytime? No. What's going on, family? Um. All right. Well, tell me something you didn't know, Clay.
Oof. If I'd known 2 years ago, I know now, I'd be so much further ahead. Marketing. I mean, 2 years ago, I put out signs the month of March. And I wouldn't put out none out the rest of the year. I quit. I mean, I was just like, oh, that's got enough work. That's gonna be good enough. Now that what I know, you gotta do it every week and be, prolific and keep doing it every over and over, same spots, different routes, whatever. If I'd done that from the get go, I'd probably been 2 years, 3 years into it full time, which I wish I would have done. But
So what? So being consistent, prolific, relentless is definitely something that will help you grow your business, and to do it. And yes, I wish I knew what I knew, 10 years ago, way back then, what I know now, right? And that's
yeah,
always something that is one thing. What are some things that if someone is trying to, that's my pictures. What if someone's just starting out? What are some words of encouragement for them?
man, stick with it. You guys stay with it. It's gonna be tough times. You're gonna be worried. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna have a lot of people give you a lot of doubt in your mind. You just gotta keep going. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. You're gonna do it for your family. Just just keep on going. Put your head down. Throw your little earbuds in. Listen to music, and keep on watching. Do a lot
Listen,
of
listen to some music or listen to some podcasts.
podcast music. Just whatever. It just depends. If this comes on the podcast, I'm gonna skip it because I don't want to listen.
Thank you for the super chat, Little Pressure Washington. Hey, if you all aren't following him on, he puts out a lot of good information. I'm gonna give you a shout out, Little Pressure Washington. He's also does quite a bit on TikTok. I would tell you to go watch him and listen to him. He does quite a bit. And gives little tips and tricks, and so definitely go check out Little Pressure Washing and support him. And that's what I'm going to hit on that. So I agree, Jason. I agree with Jason about the startup package with marketing and equipment. And so what is a book that you would recommend somebody to read? One or two books, rather, that kind of helped get you where you are now.
Man, you're supposed to ask me this before I get on here so I can look at all my books. Okay. I ain't got none in here. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. 10X everything. I should have done that with my goal, but I saw the little bit sliver I wanted. Uh, I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's so hard to even come up with a book. I got so many. Uh, well, if you hadn't read like the Rich Poor Dad stuff, I guess the business quadrant and stuff like that, that would change your mindset about that mindset of things, like working for somebody versus working for yourself type deal. Might change your way you think about different situations and stuff. I don't know. I like.
Awesome. I'm just reading some stuff over here on Facebook. Linda Maddox put how to get roof wash estimates, price 4,600 square foot, 10,000. Is that good? But made $4,000 part time this week. Raised prices a lot and haven't looked back.
Nice.
And so that is definitely agree 100% on that. I come to Huntsville some. It's a whole lot better market out there, out that way. Get a few commercial counts, lawn signs. Yeah. So that is definitely something that, is awesome. And I know I hit on this a lot, and I just do because I want you all to be successful. I made 4,000 part time, raised prices a lot, and haven't looked back. And this is what you got to do, And sometimes it's hard. It's because you feel like you got to get every job closed, and hearing no, and it can be hard for us. And that is what is amazing, to be able to grow our business to get to the next level. And so, yeah. So you said 10X book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What are some things that people should work on to be able to build confidence that they can do this?
Man, you can do it. You just got to get past that your self doubt. Everybody can do this. I promise you. Ain't nothing special about any one of us. Nothing. That's not Jason, Bobby Walker, none of them. They're doing the same thing you're doing. You just gotta get out there in front of people. You can't be afraid of hearing no. You just gotta keep on going.
Awesome. Clay, Billy put, I wish you the best success. You seem like a great family man. Much respect. So that's awesome. All right, guys, go check out kingofpressurewash.com. There you will see if you need training. If you go in there and you put in Mother's Day, it's 2 months free. That's where we get all kinds of information. That's where we just did a Zoom today. We got a Zoom tomorrow talking about Facebook tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. I do a Zoom every Monday night about marketing or something. And next month, which will be next one, I'm going to be talking about this book. We're going to actually be going through this book here. I said this, you heard that. And so that will be on Monday nights. And so It is a good book that you will be able to help understand how to talk to people and what they say and what you heard and what they heard. And so go check that out, kingofpressurewash.com. I'm also having some in-person trainings. You can go there, go to the in-person training page, go to sign up, and then that'll give you the dates that I have it. And so we have a training coming up this weekend. I do have a few spots left for Friday and Saturday here in Northern Kentucky. And then I also have a one coming up in Denver. And so I will be in Denver on May 14th and 15th. And so Christmas lights are stupid and you make crazy money. So I would highly recommend you get ready for Christmas lights. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you.